Compounding efforts works, man. Keeping your head down and, you know, minimizing distractions, minimizing dumb mistakes, minimizing falling for the trap of flattery, falling for the trap of you've made it already, you're successful, you're rich, look at this, look what that guy said about you, look what this guy said about you. No, I have one fear. I have one big fear. And my biggest fear I got as a man is losing favor of God. Nothing I fear is a bigger fear than that. When I tell you nothing, I don't fear anything more than that. This concept of losing favor applies to the people you work with, it applies with your clients, it applies with your audience, it applies with your customers, it applies with God, it applies with all of it. But remember, number one to me in life is to be a leader, right? To be a leader amongst leaders. So that's number one. And number one fear is losing favor of God, not losing favor from mainstream media, not losing favor from YouTube, not losing favor from, you know, XYZ people. It's losing favor from God.
What does God say to you?
Man, I talk to him the most. He's number one. Nothing is more than that, where I'm like, hey, am I doing the right thing? What's going on with this? Why are you doing this right now?
What do you say to him?
What do you want me to do at this phase of my life? I want to do this with the vision. I think I'm on the right track. I think the world needs this. I think you've given me this weird life of experiences and put this fire in my belly. I can't get rid of it. I fought. So we went from the life of the rich and famous to now the life of the poor and the victims. Now we're turning that into heroes. So it's like, oh, if I complain, I get 88,000 likes. But if I talk about how I took responsibility and I went out there and did this, 2,200 likes. So I'm gonna cry more and complain more because it's gonna get me more eyeballs. Oh my God, I can't stop crying. Why am I crying? Why am I crying? Why am I crying? Dylan, stop crying. Why am I crying? Oh my God, stop. It's disgusting. There's an element of this whole thing that we have to also sell why you ought to win, why you ought to go out there and set the example for others to say, I want to also go out there and win and have the life that you have. You have to also show that you can how to manage it together, how you're not arrogant about it, yet at the same time, I like driving a nice $1 million car. I like having my $10 million car collection. I like having my boat parked outside. Where on the weekend, I like having my nice clothes, and I like going to nice restaurants. I like it. I like all of that. I like being pampered and taken care of. There's an element of selling that. You can have this if you work very hard, but not from the standpoint of show off, I'm better, you're not. From the standpoint of, listen, if you got big dreams, here's what I did. It was hard. If you stick it out, it can happen to you as well. That's the concept of, you know, capitalism, that most capitalists today don't know how to sell entrepreneurship like they used to back in the days. Today they're embarrassed, they're ashamed. We have to be comfortable selling that as well, because the next generation, like we had, need to write